For most of us during our bourbon journey, this was our holy grail, Stagg, or others formerly known as Stagg Junior. And with all the batches that came out the last couple of years, a lot of us were able to get one. Some of us got lucky, some of us got through a trade, and let's be honest, some of us overpaid for it because it's a Stagg. We just wanted one. Then once we popped it open, opened it up, and it had a pour, the heavenly goodness, uncut, unfiltered bourbon that it should be, we fell in love. And then we had pour after pour, and then we started wondering. And then we started thinking, how good can the other Stagg be? And I'm talking about this. The big brother, the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, the George T. Stagg. So I'm gonna let you know two things today. First, I'm gonna review the Stagg, the new batch 25B, to let you know how good it is and if it's worth the hunt. And second, and most importantly, is it worth the upgrade? Is it worth the time, the money, the sweat, the equity in order to acquire a bottle of this? And this one is the 2025 George T. Stagg that comes in a whopping 142.8 proof. And as a bonus, after I experience this, I'm gonna let you know what's the max I would pay for a bottle of this beautiful whiskey. So let's get to it right now. Welcome to Whispering. My name is David. And Stagg, formerly known as Stagg Junior, debuted in 2013 as the more accessible, more affordable version of this, the George T. Stagg. But to a lot of people's surprise, batch one, or the very first batch, was not very well received. People thought the proof was too high, that it was too hot, it wasn't very good. Obviously, starting batch 2, 3, and 4, things got better, and now it has become what it is, the Stagg, the holy grail of a lot of bourbon drinkers. Now, this George T. Stagg debuted in 2002 as part of the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. Now, the 2025 version has got a lot of hype into it because of proof. It's 142.8, or the highest since 2016, which is over 144 proof. And similar to the previous years, the age comes in a little bit over 15 years. And this one at 15 years, 4 months. And the Stagg, the batch 25B, the age is non-age stated, but it's believed to be a blend of 8 to 9-year-old bourbons, and its proof is 126.9. So age is much younger and the proof is much lower. But it is a lot easier to find relatively to the George T. Stagg, and obviously it's a lot cheaper. And before I move on to taste and experience these two bad boys and compare them, I do have to address the elephant in the room, which is the price and availability. Stagg, well, lucky for us, the batches or the number of batches that's released every year has increased. It used to be about 2 batches a year. And then starting in 2023, they released 3 batches by surprise to all of us. And then 2024 and 2025, they released 4 batches each. So it has become a lot more accessible. And the MSRP hasn't crept up that much. I believe it increased from about $60 a couple of years ago today to about 65, 70 bucks. So if you could find it at that price, it's still one of the best value bourbons around. Now, most of us can't find it at that price, but because of the number of batches, the resale market or the secondary market, the price has come down from I think $250 to $300 a couple of years ago to around $125, $150 these days. So even at that price, it's a very good, I don't want to say very good, but it's a good value for what it is, because these days, it seems like every bourbon that comes out that's 8, 9 years old is 110, 120 bucks anyway. And of course, this, the George T. Stagg, the unicorn, the impossible to find bottle. The price for this year, the MSRP was $180. And at that price, you buy as much as you can. But of course, not a lot of people can find it at that price. And the resale or the secondary market does price it around $700, $800, $900, especially the 2025, considering that it's the first hazmat since 2016. But let's be honest, all that doesn't matter if it doesn't taste good. And I can't answer any of your questions by just talking. So no more, it's bourbon time. Opening ceremonies. Yes. Oh. Okay, so you know what? That was so much fun. Man, my hands were shaking in the anticipation of opening both the Stagg And of course, right afterwards, the George T. Stagg. It's like, oh my God, it's an experience itself, just opening it and pouring it, let alone drinking it. So these have been opening up for about 20 minutes because I wanted to give it the most amount of time possible in order to taste as good as it can be. So hopefully these are amazing because these are actually kind of expensive. So first, let's go to the Stagg Batch 25B, and I'll start with the nose. Oh, that's a Stagg. The nose, prototypical Stagg. Cherry, brown sugar, sweetness all over, and then that gooey, ooey cherry. Oh, just a wonderful nose. But of course, nose can be great, but the palate is what counts. So cheers, guys. Oh, wow. Woo. My first impression right off the bat, fantastic. Wow. This is probably one of the better batches of Stagg I had in a while. I gotta say this is probably better than 24A and 24D, which is, you know, consensus best batches of 2024. I think it's right up there with like 22A or even 23C for me. This is great. What makes this so delicious is I get a lot of the Coca-Cola kind of sweetness right up front. It's sweet, it has a great mouthfeel. It fills you up right along here. You get that flavor of the sweet brown sugar cola just all over. And then when we go to the mid palate and the finish, it doesn't die down. It continues to be sweet. It's just filled with sweet. It's like a bomb of sweetness just goes and it just starts blowing up all over your throat and including your stomach. I don't know why, I get sweetness down here as well. This is very, very delicious. Wow. And then for the fifth sips, after you get used to sweetness, especially in the mid palate and the finish, I get a lot more of that orange, the citrus, that kind of balances it out. And in the finish, you get a lot more of that, I don't want to say dry oak, but then that oaky charcoal kind of feel. And when that's surrounded by the sweetness, feels more like milk chocolate or hot chocolate type of just comfort and just relaxation and just, you know what? Just a good damn bourbon. That's what I would say. That's probably the best thing you can say about anything, any bourbon or any whiskey is freaking delicious. Now on to what everyone's been waiting for. The big boy, the big brother, the George T. Stagg that comes in at a whopping 142.8 proof. I keep on saying that, but the fact that it's hazmat, the fact that it hasn't been done since 2016, that's awesome. But again, proof, age, all that is great, but better taste delicious because I believe I had a sample of it and I'm not gonna say I was disappointed, but I wasn't thoroughly impressed. So let's see if a bottle and this changes my mind. So first, the nose. Oh, okay, maybe I do change my mind. The nose is just cherry. It feels like I'm in a field of cherries, or there's a big cherry pie in front of me that I'm just, it fills me up with that warm aroma of steamy goodness. Wow, you get the sweet cherry, the baked pie type of doughiness, and just wonderful. And of course, the nose might be able to change my mind a little, but the palate is what's gonna make the final difference. So here we go. Cheers, guys. It's what I expected, which is really good, but still, it's really good. But is it really that good? Well, let's find out. My initial impression of the George T. Stagg, it's an intense flavor bourbon. You get so many flavors. I just don't even know what I'm getting. It's not hot. Coming out of 142.8 proof, I thought it would be a little hot, a little spicy. No, I don't want to say you get none of that, but you do get a lot more of the flavors right up front. But I'm kind of confused. Is it supposed to be sweet? Is it supposed to be fruity? Is it supposed to be oaky? it kind of all plays around in your mouth. You get all of it, but it kind of plays all separately. It's like having a good meal, but then you get everything in a separate note, right? You get the garlic here, and then you get the lemon zest here, and then you get the pasta doughiness here, but it doesn't really mesh well together. And maybe it's just because it is a higher proof and I haven't, it's my only first 2 sips of it, but hopefully it meshes together on my next couple of sips. And then on the 3rd and 4th sips, I start getting a lot of more notes, right? First, you get that trademark cherry. It's the Jello cherry, the good cherry, the Mosciano, whatever cherry it is. It's just sweet, soft, and delicious cherry all over. And then in the mid palate, it turns into more of that caramel, brown sugar, maybe like a Snickers type of candy bar sweetness. It's wonderful. And the spice is there. It kind of tingles all over, but it doesn't overwhelm any notes, and it's definitely not displeasing. It's actually very pleasing. So that is nice. The finish is where I'm a little disappointed. Let me take one more sip to let you know exactly how I feel. So coming in at the age statement of 15 years, 4 months, I'm expecting the finish to be immaculate. I think the last couple of years of just wonderful high-aged bourbons that had a great sweet oak finish maybe kind of not ruin me, but set my expectation where the George T. Stagg, it's a George T. Stagg. They should have a finish akin to the Russell's 15 or the Calumet 18, something like that. But this, it lacks in that feel. Now, it's great. It's a wonderful, wonderful whiskey, but you remember the bar is Buffalo Trace and Thick Ash. The bar is the resale secondary value of $700, $800, $900. And when you compare it to those, when you compare it to the titans of the bourbon world, the finish, it has oak, but it feels it's a little bit more of a dry oak. Again, maybe just because I don't know. One more last sip just to make sure, just to verify that that's the case. All right, so now it's verified. Do I still think that that's the case? Well, I'll let you know when I tell you if it's worth the upgrade in just a second. So after taking a little bit more time to enjoy these two and compare it back and forth, let me tell you the results. Let me answer the questions that I'm supposed to do in this video. So first, the review of the Stagg 25B. Is it worth the money? Is it worth the chase? Is it worth everything that Stagg is? And the answer, absolutely. This batch, 25B, is wonderful. I know a lot of people think because there's 4 batches a year, I guess last year in 2025 and 2024, that the quality has gone down. But I just had the batch 16, a couple of days ago during a bottle share. And I gotta say, I don't know if it's just as good as that, but this is like right there. It's you're talking about decimal points in terms of like ratings, right? So not only is the quality just as good, it's a Stagg. It's whatever you expect, or whatever you thought Stagg was, this is it. So the batch 25B, absolutely worth the hunt, especially at retail price. But what's the most I'll pay for a bottle? If once I finish this, what's the next bottle? How much would I pay for the next bottle? For me, it's $110. That's a weird number. I know a lot of people would go 100 or 120, but 110 seems weird. But it's just because it's a great bourbon at 8, 9 years old, at cash strength, and it's a Stagg. Yeah, I guess, you know what? Let's go with a better number, 120 bucks. It's absolutely delicious. And I were to get this, then a Nashville Barrel Company pick. I mean, most of their picks, some of their picks are wonderful at 8, 9 years old, but those are 120, 130 plus tax, and a lot of them plus shipping. So some of them are even, total cost is 150, 160 bucks. Some river roots are like that. Some rare characters are like that. And let's be honest, I would just drink a Stagg. So for me, 120 is a great price, especially for this batch. And then the second question, and most importantly, is this worth the upgrade? Did my last pour change my mind on the finish to say, hey, is it worth the time, the equity, the hunt, the sweat, whatever it takes to get a George T. Stagg. And for me, no, it's not. Not this year's. Maybe last year's it was, maybe 2023 it was, but this year's 2025, because it's a hazmat, because people value it higher because of the price proof point, and you have to spend godly amounts of money to get one, I don't think so. Now, obviously, if you find this at MSRP or close, 180, what I got it for, what, just 250, yes, buy it all day, twice on Sunday. Not only for just the taste, but also the experience. And now that it's open, I'm able to share it with a lot of my friends, my loved ones. And that experience alone is worth $200, $250. But when you can find this for, let's just say 120 bucks, is it worth 5 times as much, 6 times as much, 7 times as much? Now, I'm not saying this has to be 6, 7, 8 times better. Again, there's intrinsic value in being a George T. Stagg, being in the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, being the status that it has. But it has to be much better. And for me, it's not that much better. It is better. It is absolutely better, but I don't think it's that much better. So the bonus question, and this is actually more important, how much would I pay for the 2025 George T. Stagg? I paid $250. Obviously, I would pay $250 again, any day, twice on Sunday, 5 times if somebody lets me. So that's not even a question. Would I pay the secondary prices of $700, $800, $900? No, I will not. So what is the price? What's the maximum price if I saw it on the shelf today that I'll buy it for? $400, which means I'll probably not buy another one of the 2025 George T. Stagg. It's a great bottle. I enjoyed it. It's obviously much better than the Stagg, but the whiskey inside it, for me, is not that great. I think the 2024 is better, and controversially, I don't think it's that much better than 2023, which a lot of people don't like. And I think 2022 is much better than this 2025 version. So leave in the comments, if you had either of these, what are your thoughts? Do you agree or disagree with me? And of course, if you haven't, after watching the video, what do you think you want to do? If this was sitting on the shelf for that kind of money, would you buy it? Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time.